another one of our weekly videos. We are talking about the Zubat pole saw. So you've obviously heard of the Silky Zubat handsaw, but now put that onto a pole saw, and this is what it looks like, a Silky Zubat pole saw. It's brilliant saw, ultra lightweight, super lightweight, available in a few different pole lengths.
If you have purchased one, this is a video you want to watch, or if you're thinking of maybe getting the Zubat pole saw, also a great video to watch.
I don't see why you should pause.
Okay, so we're going to break it down for you, not literally, but we're going to break down all the specs, how you extend it, how you put it away, all those sorts of things. Basically what we would do if you came into our showroom and wanted to know about the Zubat, and then how to use it once you get it home.
Exactly.
So we have Zubat in a pole saw, and we have
Zubat in a handsaw.
Yeah, so looking at them next to each other, they're very, very similar.
Yeah, and that's because they are very, very similar. Yeah. So the Silky Zubat pole saw has a 33 centimeter blade. So we've grabbed our 33 centimeter Zubat, and yes, it's identical, except when you turn it around, we have the safety precaution to keep the scabbard onto the pole. But
so instead of a belt clip, you've got like a pole clip.
Pole clip.
Pole clip.
And then you have belt clip to attach to your handsaw.
Yeah. Now the cool thing with these is they don't cut your skin when you have the scabbard on. So very important if you're putting it near your face like Sinead just did. Okay, so
you can never be an arborist.
If you buy one really, really quickly from us, we have a couple of handles left that allow you to take the blade out of this pole saw and then put it into a handle which turns it into a handsaw, which is really quite cool. Yeah. So as Sinead was saying before, because they're the same, you then get basically a Zubat 330 handsaw, which is really cool.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah, and then those belt clips you can also buy separately too. So you could unclip this pole clip and pop your belt clip in if you're using it as a handsaw. So quite a cool interchangeable feature with the Zubat pole saw. So blades. The Zubat pole saw comes with your standard Zubat blade in a 330mm length, which is a great blade tooth size to sort of do a variety of materials. But Sinead was telling me before, a great option, which I'd not thought about with the pole saws,
is the Zubat arborist handsaw. So thanks to us Aussies who put our request in. And this is an extra large...
Well, it wasn't actually us, it was these very clever boys down in Melbourne.
Still in Australia.
Taking a little credit for it, we wrote an email.
Sell it. So, yeah, you got the Zubat arborist handsaw. Or you thought about taking a replacement blade to stick onto your pole saw, because the Zubat arborist has a 33 centimeter blade, and so does the pole saw.
So your Zubat is available in 3 different tooth sizes as far as handsaws go. So you can get it in a fine tooth, the standard, which is the large tooth, and then the arborist one, which is the extra large tooth. Now, difference between them is they're all exactly the same design, exactly the same materials, everything's the same. It's just the tooth gets bigger. Fine tooth being little, large tooth being a bit bigger, and extra large being even bigger again. It's a very, very easy concept, isn't it?
It does. But okay, the large tooth is the good all-rounder, basically. So
yeah, which is why that comes standard in the pole saw. Yeah, but like Sinead said, if you wanted, you could put the other blades in. Now, the reason you might do that is your extra large tooth will cut larger branches much faster. So a lot of people go, oh, bigger is better, so we'll always just get the biggest tooth and the biggest saw and use that because that's going to make my job.
It doesn't quite work like that.
No, easiest and fastest, and that would be wrong. What it does is the big teeth, when they try and cut a small circumference, they can't dig into it properly, so they will bounce on the branch. They will vibrate when they're going through the cut because those big teeth are hitting the edge of the branch constantly rather than having a wider bit of material to dig through. So it is much easier and much faster to cut a small branch with a small tooth. And the same with bigger. It's much faster and easier to cut a big branch with a big tooth. Bearing in mind the whole wet thing. So if it's dry, the little tooth will cut easier because...
you liken it to carpentry, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas if it's wet and sappy, big and wide so it doesn't clog up.
Yeah.
Yeah, hope that makes sense.
Simple.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The Zubat pole saw comes as standard with a large tooth blade, but you have that option of buying the arborist if you have big limbs mainly that you're cutting, or really wet wood, or if it's all little stuff and palms, really fibrous material, or bamboo, then you might want to buy yourself the fine tooth blade and pop that in too.
Yeah.
So 3 choices, which is really cool.
Why not buy all 3 blades?
That's right. Okay, so let's get into it. So you've got yourself a Zubat. Now the Zubat pole saws are available in 3 lengths. All Silkies, except for one, are telescopic. So this one here we have picked is our Zubat 1200. So this one starts at, I think it's 1.2 meters and goes up to 2.7 meters. And then we've got, I think the next one's 3.3 meters maximum length.
And 3.9?
3.9, yeah. So the third one's 3.9. So 2.7, 3.3, and 3.9 are the 3 maximum length blade pole options for the Zubat pole saw. So once you pick the pole length that you want, and always remember as well, a lot of people when they look at a pole saw, they'll go, oh, okay, my trees that I want to cut are like 2 meters high, so I'll just get a 2 meter pole. First up, have your trees finish growing, because that's one of the big things. You can't make the pole saw longer in a year or two's time. So you can use it shorter, but you can't make it longer than this one here being a 2.7 meter. So what you need to do is look at the trees and go, okay, what's going to be like their maximum life in my lifetime? And make sure you get a pole saw that will be able to reach them at that point. Then you want to make sure you're not standing directly under the branch that you're going to cut, because 9 times out of 10 it's going to land on your head and that's not going to feel so good. So you want to like be a meter
big headache.
Yeah, big headache. So be a meter or so away from the tree, and you might want to add that to the length of your pole saw so that you can stand away from the tree when cutting.
Yeah. So when extending the Silky Zubat pole saw, you want to start from the littlest to the biggest, but because it only has 1 clamp in it, it's pretty straightforward. So what you want to do is you want to unclip that red lever, and then you have your little push button down, and then you just press it in and just extend it. Oops, sorry, Nita. And you extend it, keeping in mind, watch out for that button to let it click through, and then close it. It is very, very important. Always remember to lock this lever, because inside here there's a little black spacer which clamps the poles together. So if you are using it on harder material, it won't slip out of that clip. So
and
make
the
sure you
very big importance of that closing is for this button here.
Yeah, so another reason, like Nina was just hinting at, closing this as well. Because this button here is a hard aluminium, hard steel. The button here is a hard steel, and this is a soft aluminium. So if you don't have this closed down, this will slowly start to stretch that hole, which will make it very, very...
It won't work anymore.
Yeah, very frustrating. That's what I've worked.
And then you've got to buy the section of the pole that you've broken. So let's not do that.
No, we're trying to save money here.
Just by closing that lever, locking your levers, you will save yourself having to purchase a new section of your pole saw. Now I'm just going to go and grab the next length so that you can see what to do if you buy the next length, because it's going to have different button options. So I'll be back.
Yep.
Okay, so I've got the longer one now. We're just going to collapse this one down so that you can see the height difference when they're collapsed.
Yep, so the trick to closing it is unlock the lever, press the button, and it slide the blade back down. And being super lightweight as well.
Yeah. They're so beautifully engineered that they just glide so nicely in and out.
A bit hard when there's a roof when you need his toes.
Yeah, that is true. Okay, so as we mentioned before, this is the 2.7, was it?
Yep.
2.7, yeah, 2.7 meter.
And this is the
And
3.3.
memory like a goldfish these days. Yeah, 3.3. So you can see collapse down as you go up in height with the Zubat. They do actually become a taller unit when collapsed. So with this one here, just each pole section is longer than the shorter one, and then the same with the next length up again.
Yep.
Okay, so if you decide that you need the length of a 3.3 meter pole saw, but this collapsed down like this is a bit too tall for where you were planning on storing it, or say you've got a small
Garden
shed, or you've got a business where you do lawn mowing and whatnot, and the trailer that you carry your equipment on won't allow you to have something this long. Quick and easy solution is you can actually just take that blade off the pole. So you just have to undo these 2 screws here. They've made them really nice, so it's a big sort of easy plastic head to unscrew. So you just unscrew those, zip, like that. Easy peasy. And then you can just slide that off, and then that becomes a much smaller, more compact unit to actually travel around with and store. So really cool and easy way to make them a bit smaller. And then the other thing is you do have the head then separate that you could theoretically use on its own if you wanted to, or like we mentioned earlier, put that handle on and turn it into a nice comfortable handsaw to use.
Yeah, exactly. So how do we put that pole saw, that blade back onto the pole saw?
Okay, so something very important to think about is when you're extending it and putting it down, you're looking at these levers from on top. You're not sort of doing it from underneath, you're looking at them this way. So however you're holding it, that's obviously the direction. You need the blade to go like that because it's going to cut that way, not the other way. So look at your levers, make sure they're facing your face, and then slide your pole saw blade head on with the blade facing away from yourself. So that's the way it goes on with the Zubat, and you just line up those holes. The nuts are welded on the other side, which is really good so that you're not going to lose them. And then you can easily just put your screws back in like that. So quick and easy to assemble and disassemble. Yep. And just remember when you put them on, your clamps are facing you and the teeth of the blade are facing away.
So when taking off the scabbard as well, you'll notice what we'll explain before, explaining before is the belt strap, pole strap, sorry. Easiest way, because you can see here, it's kind of got like a little claw clamping this section together to keep the pole together. So what you do is you use your thumb to just push it out. Yep. It makes it all loose, and then you just slide off. I'll put it on the floor. Slide.
And with all scabbards, it makes it much easier if you push that scabbard against the back of the blade, not the side that has the teeth, but the back, because then it's rubbing against this, and it doesn't catch on the teeth.
Yeah, but you can see here we have the plastic on.
Yeah, and if you've brought it in a shop and the plastic is on, or you've purchased it, it's been sent to you, throw that plastic away, because 9 times out of 10, trying to put that plastic back on is when you cut yourself. So this is really just for display purposes, so that the scabbard is nice and pretty in the shop and doesn't get accidentally nicked by the teeth.
Yep, so like this, you can see that I'm dragging inside as rollers, so you can feel it. It will just roll down the spine of the blade, clip on, and then the same, make sure you match, whoopsie daisy, match up the claw together and stick it in.
Flip it over. Nice and secure. So the Zubat, like all silkies, it cuts on the pull stroke. So when you are using it, you just pull the blade towards yourself, and that's when the cutting is actually going to happen. When you glide it back up, it's going to clean the wood or the fibre, whatever it is that you're cutting, out of the teeth. And then so on your draw stroke again, that's when the cutting is going to happen. Now, you can appreciate those teeth are super, super sharp, like little needles. So if you push really hard into the material you're trying to cut, they will dig in and won't want to move because they're these really sharp, pointy things. So it'll actually make it harder and take longer if you push quite hard on that blade. So gravity, the weight of the saw, is really all that you need as far as pressure onto whatever it is that you're cutting with these pole saws. So just remember that. Let the saw do the work. Don't push hard on the blade, and it will cut 10 times faster than you physically pushing. And I've told the story probably tons of times. My sister is an arborist, came to visit me, and she watched me use one day because I was in a rush and I wasn't thinking, and I just wanted to cut this branch because I couldn't drive down the driveway, and I'm pulling and pulling, using my arm strength as much as I could to try and cut this branch quickly. And she came out and she said, "What are you doing?" I was like, "What do you mean?" And she pulled it off me, and she just glided through the branch, and in 3 strokes it was down. I'd done about 20 and it hardly got through it. So trust me on this one. It will cut faster and easier if you let the saw do the work, not your own strength. So who buys these?
Well, who doesn't buy these, basically? That's what you'd be asking. They're great for home gardeners, commercial, just...
Arborists even climb with them sometimes. Yeah. So my sister explained to me once, because I'm like, well, why are you wanting to do it? She goes, well, if you're in a comfy spot in the tree, sometimes it's easier to just stay there and cut the surrounding branches rather than trying to rope yourself around and lean out to cut those branches. So there are times in certain trees when it is going to be easier and sometimes faster to actually use a pole saw. But if you're doing that, you want a light one. And that's what the Zubat is. Lovely and lightweight, but cuts like a dream.
It does.
So the other great thing to also remember with all of the silky pole saws, and the Zubat is no exception to that, is that they have the fantastic gum rubber handles that gives extreme comfort. It absorbs vibration, but it also makes it really easy to hold and really grippy, so you're not going to slip. You don't have to squeeze extra hard, which is fatiguing at the end of the day if this is your profession, or if you're doing a whole day of gardening. Your hands can get quite sore if you're having to really grip onto everything that you're using. So those rubber handles are really fantastic with the Zubat pole saws. Now, talking before about the weight, if you are in a shop or you you know, you're somewhere where you don't have access to somebody like us that can tell you the weight of these saws, grab yourself a Zubat catalogue. So Sinead's got one here.
Silky catalogue.
Oh, Silky catalogue.
Same. You want to go this way? So this is Silky catalogue, the new 2018 to 2019. But all the pole saws are on the very, very back page. And this has the technical things to it, like blade size, tooth size, kerf, whatever, you name it.
Lots of info you might want to know will be in the catalogue.
Yeah, but it also has the weight of each saw as well. So starting from the 2.7 meter pole saw, you're averaging about 1.4, 1.3 kilos basically, and that's including the whole lot.
Yep.
So super lightweight, basically almost like a newborn.
One way to look at it.
And then jumping up to the 3.3 meter, which is what your Nita's got here, and you're looking at around 1.5 kilos, 1.6 kilos. And then jumping up to the 3.9, you're looking at around 1.7, 1.8 kilos. So it's not very, very heavy at all. It probably looks like it's heavy because it is long, but
Yeah, no, they're really lightweight, really nice.
Yeah, how it's designed, you shouldn't fatigue too quickly.
No. So that's basically the specs on the Zubat pole saw. Aluminium handles to make them really light, fantastic super sharp blades.
Telescopic pole saw.
Yep, and Sinead's shown you how to open and close them, which is important. One last thing, to keep this saw as shiny and sharp and fantastic as the day you brought it, make sure you clean it. Use that easy cleaning spray. It's fantastic. If you haven't heard of it or seen it, we did a video the other week about it, and it's just the most brilliant stuff and all natural, so you're doing a bit for the environment and all that stuff. And the great Aussie family that make it. And then spray it with a lubricant. We recommend lanolin. It's brilliant. It works. We've been using it for over 20 years and it is just the bee's knees. So clean it, spray it, and you will have this for years to come. Yes. So thanks for watching our video this week. If you liked it, please do us a favour and subscribe. Throw us a comment. We love comments, good or bad. We reply to them all. Even if YouTube seems to delete them. For some reason, a lot of our replies get deleted. So if you think we're ignoring people, we're not. We've replied to them, but that's just taking it away.
You're not rude people.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is all from us this week. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we will talk to you all next week.
No, you got to tell them what we're doing next week.
I was hoping you would, because I totally forgot.
No, it's the cases, isn't it?
So we have done, I thought it was knives.
No, we did the knives. Oh, you're saying in order. So, no, we're doing Forester, knives, Zubat. So it's the cases.
Yeah, okay. So next week we are talking, so next week
Wait a minute, so didn't you say thank you for watching or something?
Oh, yeah. Thanks for watching one of our videos again. We really appreciate it. Next week, stay tuned. We are talking about the Silky Saw Scabbard. Why? You'll have to find out next week.
Why indeed?
Yes.
Have a great week.
Bye.